all, he has been running so well. They're running through some back markers, though.
Now, this is where going down to Andretti's turn, where it would be a logical place, but Little Al is not just close enough to him, but look how Fittipaldi was using the center of the load. Little Al took advantage of that, and he's right glued to his tail again. And he's striking for a move. Can he do it? He's done it!
Took it. Emerson went right into the wall, to the tires and the wall. And that is right through the chicane.
Well, it was bright-eyed, bushy-tailed enthusiasm, I'm afraid, and that was the situation of Little Al there. He took the opportunity, and we're certainly going to yellow there. Fittipaldi could easily have hurt his legs, because that was a heavy impact. He hit the tires. They're still looking. They're disgusted. They're concerned. He's not out of the car. These are the rescue people who are looking. Fittipaldi's already taken the steering wheel off. He's moving around. He's okay, but he could certainly have damaged his feet and ankles. That was a heavy impact, Charlie.
And we're under full course yellow.
And that was a coming together. Little Al took advantage there. He went where maybe angels would fear to tread, but he just put himself into a position where there was no room left for Emerson Fittipaldi. He locked up his brakes. You can see the brake lines there, the rubber marks there. He slammed into the tire first of all and then into the wall. There's the replay. Now, watch Little Al here. He comes in the inside. Emerson doesn't expect him to do that. He's alongside. He's side by side, but not quite far enough. They collide there, and Fittipaldi is shot straight in to that wall there. That was heavy impact. Now, Fittipaldi will almost certainly say that Little Al is to blame.
From a driver's standpoint, who is to blame?
Well, this is a different angle of the same accident, and you can see Little Al took advantage coming out of that other corner. He ran up on him. Emerson was taking the traditional line. Little Al certainly accelerated at that point, and really it would be a hard call to say who was wrong.
Is there a right-of-way? Is there a right-of-way?
Well, there generally is. Look at this. Emerson's out the car, and he's now shaking his fist at Little Al as he went past there. There is an angry Brazilian.
That's the bad news. The good news is he's okay.
Yes, and I think that we can think of ourselves being very fortunate with, and this is another declaration of how safe those cars are.
All right, let's go down to the pit. Sally's there.
Gary Rovazini, Emerson's crew chief. Gary, we always hate to do interviews like this. Emerson was running so well. What happened?
Well, we really don't know. All we heard was him and Little Al had contact. That's all we know at the moment. It sounded like Little Al might have gave him a slide job. That's all we know at the moment.
One thing that most people don't know is that Emerson did have a clutch problem, didn't he?
Yes, he did, but that wasn't our concern. He knows how to shift very well, and I feel that that wouldn't have been any kind of problem we had today.
Very disappointing for Gary Rovazini and the whole Emerson Fittipaldi team. Thank you, Gary. Charlie?
Thank you, Sally. Is it the luck of the draw? Is it from a driver's standpoint? Take it from both sides. Take it first from Emerson's side, then take it from Little Al's side.
Well,
with your experience.
I think Emerson is definitely going to say that that would not have been a place that he would have chosen to pass any driver. Little Al obviously recognized that he had a considerable advantage. Now, because Emerson was having a gear change problem with his clutch, potentially he could have been a little slow at engaging third gear and then getting back into second gear for that chicane area. But if we get an interview from him right now, that will be a steamy interview. But for Little Al, he would turn around and say, look, there was a gap there, the road was open to me, and I'm going to make the effort, and there is the man.
And when it is, and from the replay, you really can't tell. We'll be back to dissect this in depth in just a moment from the Meadowlands. Sally, and she's with Emerson Fittipaldi. Sally?
As you can imagine, a very disappointed Emerson Fittipaldi. Emerson, everything was working so well for you, and then what happened?
I mean, everybody saw on TV. Our Juno tried to pass me on an impossible place. Even when we are lapping cars on that place, it's impossible to pass. And we are dicing for position. He went on the inside. I couldn't believe he was trying to go there. And when I arrived the corner, I turned because I never expected him to be there. And he threw me on the wall. I mean, luckily I'm not hurt, but that's it. The race is gone. I never thought that our Juno would do something like that. You know, he has enough experience now.
There was also a question of whether you even had a clutch toward the end of your time on the track. Was there a problem for you, or was everything working well?
Yeah, the clutch was okay. I could get out of the pit all right. I had no problem. It was just, I just couldn't believe the way he tried to pass me
How angry are you at Little Al? You shook your fist at him as you went by.
I mean, for sure. I mean, I could be now in the hospital, not here walking, talking to you.
Thank you, Emerson. A very disappointed Emerson Fittipaldi, as you could see.
And when you listen to his words and you look at the picture, you have to agree with him. I'm not saying he's right, but when you listen to the words and you look at the picture, you have to agree.
Well, Little Al was going for a gap that he saw. He's young, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and full of enthusiasm, and he's a race driver. I understand Emerson. I would have not expected Emerson Fittipaldi to try and pass Al Unser Jr. in a similar set of circumstances, but where you're looking at youth and not as much experience, quite frankly, the moment was taken by young Al, and he went for it. Now,
Haley Holmes, Coyne, Taze, Lyondike is out. Al Unser Sr. and Teo Fabi. They are all out of the race at this point. The story of the race, though, is, oh, here's more. A.J. Foyt is out, Pruitt is out, and you saw the other two. The story to this point, it is the situation, crash, bump, whatever you want to call it right now, between Emerson Fittipaldi, who's leading, and Al Unser Jr., who came past him in the chicane.
well, the cars are so strong that we were allowed to see Emerson Fittipaldi step out of this accident. Let's look at the impact that he had here. Crashed into these tires and then into that wall. How he wasn't injured, who knows?
Well, one of the reasons, oh yeah, he is very upset, shakes his fist when Little Al went by him, but one of the reasons that he was not injured is these cars collapse when they go against the wall. We've seen that happen. They kiss the wall. Now, Jackie talked with R.A. Lyondike, who went. Little Al Unser, he wins last week at Toronto, and he wins today at the Meadowlands. Let's go down to Gary Gerald.
The helmet off, the earplugs come out. Here's a very tired young second-generation race driver who's just won 2 in a row. Congratulations from the crew. This one was tough, and I know it's got to be a great feeling to win 2, but the critical aspect was the contact and the pass with Emerson Fittipaldi. What happened there, Al?
Well, what happened, you know, it was a sad thing that Emo ended up where he ended up, but he had made a mistake earlier on in the hairpin at the end of the straightaway, went a little bit wide. That enabled me to set him up for the right-hander. I got up next to him, and he decided to go ahead and go in the corner with me. And there was just one room for one car, and I was turning, but my front end broke away and made contact with Emo, and then Emo didn't have anywhere to go. You know, it's a sad thing. You know, we were wanting to race, but you know, that's racing, and he made the decision to go ahead and go in the corner with me, and that's what happened.
Al, the pictures would show that it's a story to the contrary, and I know Emerson was very vitriolic in his remarks and not happy. How do you look at that?
Well, it's racing, you know. I got up alongside of him before he turned in, and so he made his mind rather either to brake and let me go and run the corner wide, or to go ahead and go in there with me, and he decided to go in with me.
Then Mario took the lead away from you. In a lap to go, suddenly he had problems. You end up in victory lane. It's a great capper to another Sunday afternoon. Huh?
Yeah, I just, you know, again, that's racing. That's Mario's bad luck, and you know, his engine started missing there at the end, and that's racing. And so, you know, I just want to thank my team. They did a super job in the pits, and Valvoline and Stroh and
all right,
Kim and everybody.
We appreciate it. We got to get back up to Charlie Jones.
As we look now through 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 in this very close race, that means that Al Unser Jr. has taken over the standings by 2 points in the driver's race over Danny Sullivan. Then it's Rick Mears, Bobby Rahal, Mario Andretti, Michael Andretti. And that says it all for Paul Newman and for Mario Andretti. It's been a great afternoon here at the Meadowlands for Jackie Stewart, Gary Gerald, Sally Larvick. The sun shining on Little Al, the clouds over Emerson Fittipaldi and Mario Andretti. I'm Charlie Jones. So long, everybody.